All right. We're back with the four-man weave today. And we're going to dive into some unfortunate news. You know, one of my favorite point guards, future Hall of Famer. Much respect goes out to the guy. Steve Nash retires after playing 18 seasons in the National Basketball Association. Nash was a two-time MVP. He's third all-time in assists behind John Stockton and Jason Kidd, 8-time All-Star, and has led the league. Has led the league in assists 5 out of 8 years with the Phoenix Suns. Guys, he's had, an exceptional career, although he's never played in an NBA Finals, participating in 120 playoff games total, had, deep runs with the Suns and the Dallas Mavericks. Unfortunately plagued by injuries, with the Lakers. It's almost, kind of depressing when you think about it. He only played.
You sound sad about talking about.
I mean, Steve Nash was
You're talking like that's your father. Like, dad.
It is.
That gave me making my demeanor feel. I'm like,
yeah, I'm over here.
Slouch.
I'm over here crying. Right. You got me crying.
Where the Kleenex at? Where the Kleenex at?
Steve Nash is great.
I have it underneath the board.
Awesome to have him.
Yeah, man. 65 out of a potential 246 games he could have played as a Laker.
2-time MVP for a person doing dunk. Awesome.
Right?
I think Dirk said it the best. He made the best out of being white and unathletic. That's what Dirk said.
That's
he made the best out of being white and unathletic.
Wow.
Yeah, well, Dirk kind of... Would you agree with what Dirk said?
Yeah.
Okay, safe to say.
I won't go as far as saying he's unathletic.
Yeah, because he had some woo type of passes.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say he's unathletic, but just hearing that come from Dirk, that's just hilarious. I mean, that's hilarious.
I mean, he's a 7-foot guy that does layups. You know what I'm saying? So I never seen him dunk. If I see him dunk,
he dunked in the All-Star game. He dunked in the All-Star game.
I haven't. I didn't watch it, so it doesn't count for me. But if I see him dunk or run up the court, then I'm surprised. I'm like, that's a ball player. I see him jog and never get to the rim. If he gets to the rim, he's doing a layup. 7 feet. He's touching the backboard with his fingertips. I don't understand why.
The thing about Steve Nash though, him and Jason Kidd are the blueprints for the modern day point guard. Like what they've done for the game in recent years, for the 90s and early 2000s, they showed these young players how to play the point guard with respect and poise, and how to really play the game with their intelligent play, with their crafty passing, and their clutch shot making.
One white ball player that I could say that followed that was Jason Williams. That was my guy. 2006, got the chip with Dwayne Wade and the Miami Heat. That's that one player I could say that really followed that and really was that next passer. White chocolate out here. That's what it's about.
That's funny. That's exactly how I would describe Jason Williams. That's exactly how I would describe him.
As white chocolate?
Yeah, that's what they call him.
That's his name. Yeah, white chocolate. Yeah, I wasn't making it up.
Because he plays like a black person. He plays like a black person.
I mean, okay.
Safe to say he played in his prime like an
athlete. Let's just
Caucasian.
Let's say as an athlete of the highest caliber. Okay, let's just go with that.
Let's just say that before we get in trouble here in the below the end zone in WICR. But yeah, so guys, how would you remember Steve Nash? Let's start with you, Jiggity. How are you gonna remember Steve Nash?
All right, like I said, one of the best point guards to ever play the game. Another thing I'd say is he opened the door for more Canadians to play the game. Like, he set up camps in Canada. He was trying to get basketball popping in Canada rather than other sports like hockey. He basically, I wouldn't say he's the main reason. I mean, he's one of the main reasons why Canadian players are starting to come out now, like Wiggins, Bennett, Olynyk. All these young Canadian players are starting to come out now because those are the players that were watching Steve Nash when they were in, like, middle school and elementary school.
Let's move on down.
Okay, for Steve Nash, when I remember Steve Nash, I remember the days in Phoenix running that Mike D'Antoni offense with Amari Stoudemire and Shaquille O'Neal and those seasons. You know, it's Steve Nash is a different type of point guard to me. Honestly, he's one of my one of my favorite point guards of all time. But I would have to say is like he was the blueprint to Mike D'Antoni's offense. If any point guard is gonna run Mike D'Antoni's offense, they have to look at Steve Nash film and notice it. I remember Steve Nash for the amazing passes he used to make. You know, he made some phenomenal passes. I mean, I would have to say before these young guys nowadays, even though I sound really old saying that, they make some of these flashy passes. Steve Nash was making some of those passes when he was when he was in the NBA and during his time. So I would remember Steve Nash as a flashy player. I mean, a flashy passer. A team's player. You know, he always put the team first. He was fine not being the star on a team. He would rather have other stars on his team, and he just made the team better. You know, he sacrificed his points and his stats to make sure that everybody else got their points. You know, think about it. When he was with Phoenix, he dealt with Amari and Shaq. Dallas playing with Dirk. You know, he wanted to be more like the general of the team. He's like the coach on the floor, not really like I had to be the star.
It's funny how you call him an orchestrator like that. When you look at his numbers, he never averaged 20 points in a season, but he always averaged double-digit assists. And that just goes to show. I mean, his numbers are similar to that of a Jason Kidd with the exception of the NBA Finals appearances. You know, Jason Kidd playing in 3, ultimately capturing 1 championship. But, you know, before we cut on our, little salute to Steve Nash, let's hear from BCPC over here.
Yeah, I think Steve Nash is a really great player. Loving his game. You know, growing up just looking at him with the duo with him and Amari Stoudemire on the Phoenix Suns. I love his craftiness. I love the way how just that one point guard who was very dominant and couldn't stop. Not an Allen Iverson kind of type, but a person who it's just like, okay, you're not blocking him. You know, he could get his little points, but he still was able to get his little 3-ball shot in, and you know, and just able to spread the court, you know, and just looked so smooth, so easy. Didn't look ever nervous about us going past a 6'9" guy when he's like, I don't know what his height is, 6 foot something.
Yeah,
of anything, or
he had a Napoleon complex,
or that's even being generous, you know. But yeah, just really setting the foundation of just being that point guard, that general, and the person I see that really does it now would be Chris Paul. You know, just not trying to go for 20 points a game. He could do that, but 23.
He's actually 6'3".
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's actually kind of surprising. He's actually 6'3".
Well, being 6'3", but I see that Chris Paul models the game, being that general, and just looking for that first pass, and we see now that there are point guards that could model their game after Steve Nash. But yeah, I appreciate him, and I'm very happy that I guess the retirement, because Lakers was not doing anything at the moment, and yeah, he's gonna be a definitely first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah. I'd actually like to see him as a head coach. You know, you don't have to be a head coach like this season or whatever, but I would like to see him. Let's say Mike D'Antoni gets another job. I'd like to see him as an assistant head coach or like one of the coaches he played under, and learn how to become a coach and be a coach in NBA. I think he'll be a terrific coach.
Probably run that 7 seconds or less offense that he flourished with in Phoenix.
Hey,
but yeah,
hey, he became famous off that offense.
He did. But kudos to Steve Nash. And good luck with his future endeavors. But right now we're gonna dive into some Cleveland basketball next on 4-Man Weave.
This moment in